Well, to no one's surprise, the lighting still sucks, but here we are. I would say welcome back, but if anything, it's like I'm back, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, what's up, guys? Welcome back. I know, apologies for my absence. I know I've been missed in the social media world, in the podcasting world. I know I've been hearing the screams, the clamoring from the people. Javi, come back. We missed a pretty decent podcast. We need a new episode. But honestly, like if I'm coming, like we're gonna keep it 100, okay? We're gonna start the episode with a bang. I just needed to step away from everything. I just needed a reset. Like, I don't know, like I feel like since I started training for marathons like 15 months ago, my life has been on go mode. But don't worry, I'll catch you guys up to speed with everything. Um, you know, I guess like you're probably asking, Javi, why is it pitch black? And where are you recording from? Well, this is my living room. Actually, like that's my dining table. So, I have my TV right there. I have my rocking chair right there. This is the couch. I think sometimes you would see it if when I was recording back in my dining table. But yeah, this is from the other side. Like so, if you happen to see something in the corner, like don't tell me because I will poop my pants and I will cry and I will probably not set foot in this house again. But yeah, I feel like every now and then I introduce you to like new angles from my house. Like you've been in my kitchen, now you're in my living room. You started off in the dining table. Before I got the camera, I would record in my room because it had great acoustics. But obviously, once I got the camera, I'm like, well, that's a little bit too personal and intimate. Like, I'm not gonna record from my bedroom. I don't want you to see my underwear or anything like that. And also, like, I let the dogs out in my bedroom, so I don't want you to see you. I don't want to see you. I don't want you guys to see my dogs out. Okay, but yeah, I mean, honestly, this episode is very out of the blue because I'm just bored and I kind of was planning on recording soon. I mean, I'm going on vacation in like a week. So I was going to do one when I came back from vacation because, me and my girlfriend are going to Disney World and we're going to meet up with my parents. Let's go. We always, there's always a banger of an episode after going to Disney World. And this time it's for like 5 days. So, I'm just saying, you better be like, oh, like on the lookout for that episode. If you subscribe and you hit that bell, that helps. But I mean, like I said, this is out of nowhere. I literally have no talking points. When do I ever follow my talking points? Am I right? But I kind of just, wanted to have like a conversation. This is one of those intimate episodes, I guess, and for some reason those tend to do pretty good. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I just stepped away for a bit because I wasn't feeling creative. I wasn't feeling like the stuff that I was making was what I wanted it to be, like the final product, what I wanted it to be. Like it felt very rushed. And I know like at the beginning of the year I said like, oh, a new episode every week, we'll make it to episode 100 by the end of the year or whatever. And that's still feasible, but like I guess I like the first year of me post college was like unrealistic because like my life just revolved around running and podcasting. And like every Saturday was in the morning, the long run scheduled for that week for the training cycle, and then in the afternoon was recording. And then Sunday was just chilling at home, doing errands and stuff like that. But, you know, obviously back then I didn't really have friends in the vicinity. I mean, apart from my college friends, but I was trying to actively step away from the college scene. Um, so, you know, like literally like I like as soon as my second year started, um, like, you know, I met my girlfriend and I started to get closer with people from work and stuff. So obviously, like, you know, like having to balance my personal life with running and podcasting has just been a lot because I'm trying to do so many things, but I feel like I don't have enough time to do the things that I want to do, especially the way that I want to do them when it comes to like podcasting and like even like the running club and all that stuff. But I kind of feel like I'm trying to get a hang of it again because I kind of found that balance of like, okay, like I can train and just like take it easy because like realistically, like I kind of had to take it into put into perspective that I did 3 marathons in 15 months while still working an 8 to 9 hour job 5 days a week and still balance a healthy relationship with my girlfriend for 12 ish of those 15 months and, you know, still endure being away from my family and not really being able to see them that often, being homesick, you know, dealing with mental health stuff and everything. So, you know, I gotta give myself a pat in the back because I guess like to me, it was just like, it's whatever. But like, you know, putting into perspective is like, that's kind of like a big deal, you know, like it's something that deserves credit and I should give myself more credit for it. But I feel like even like, I just kind of got frustrated with like my running, my training, I guess, because I felt like it was like, okay, I trained for the first marathon, hit that peak, and then I kind of like lingered here, did the half marathon, and then kind of trained up again. Well, I went like this, and then went back up for the second marathon, and then lingered here, and then went down, and then like kind of like trying to pick it up again for the third marathon. And, you know, like, I guess it was bound to happen. I kind of got injured a little bit right before I started training for the third marathon. It was something with my hip, and then I just ignored it for like the next 5 months. And then at the marathon, I kind of pulled my glute. So then I was like, okay, like, you know, it was kind of serious. So then like I kind of like stepped away from running for a little bit, like very lightly, you know, trying to like ease into it and stuff. And then last week, it actually got really bad. So like I went to PT earlier this week and I got it checked and everything. So like I'm doing a lot better, but I was like, okay, yeah, we can't be doing these like where I'm training and like just it's not consistent. Like I want to get to the point where I'm like, okay, like I reached like the 30 to 35 mile weeks and then I can just like linger around there and like I can keep the marathon fitness. But because like I do have goals with where I want to go with marathoning. Like at the moment, I think my main goal is to do a sub 4 hours. So, you know, like I kind of was thinking at first before all this happened of doing a marathon in the fall, but I'm at the point that I'm like, I really want to like dial down and like have it to the like as detailed as possible and like have like a great training program that I made myself, you know, like where I can balance work, my personal life and podcasting and like the stuff, like all of like the side projects that I want to do and stuff. Cause I feel like everything was just like, it was just so rushed and I got kind of overwhelmed by it. And when I get overwhelmed, I like shut down. And I think if I would have kept going at the pace that I was going, I would have shut down in a bad way. So, you know, I'm glad that I caught myself. But, you know, like I want to start swimming as well. I want to start cycling, even though I don't know how to ride a bicycle. But, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. But, yeah, I mean, I kind of want to restart the podcast like as a fresh start. I've been trying to work on upgrading the spare room and like actually make it into a pretty decent studio. Like, yeah, it will be called a pretty decent studio, but like at least presentable. Like be able to have my girlfriend as a guest. Also like I want to work with like the running club and like the running brand and all that side of stuff. I feel like I've neglected that ever since we started it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I guess it just like I'm a perfectionist, and if things aren't done a certain way, I get frustrated and I get upset at myself. So I mean, like, I guess like that's my greatest flaw. I'm a perfectionist. Everything has to be a certain type of way. Even if it's a mess, it has to be a perfect mess. So I'm just saying, like if I don't know, that's like if you're looking for something to not say at an interview, is that. But yeah, I mean, like literally ever since like the last episode, all I've been doing is literally just going to work, hang out with my girlfriend, hang out with friends, running every now and then, watching movies, listening to the new 21 Pilots album, which we are gonna get into that because that is the main thing I wanted to talk about in my comeback episode. But yeah, I mean, probably from the thumbnail of this episode is like something relating to like I'm quitting running or something like that, which in a sense, I guess I'm quitting from marathon running at the moment. Like I don't like, probably like my next marathon will be next year. I'm still gonna run. I'm still gonna do long endurance races. That's, don't be afraid, okay? Like it'll be fine. I really want to, like I have goals. Like I want to lose weight. I want to do the sub 4 hours. I want to be able to cross train. I want to have like a good balance and everything. I mean, and like the fact that it's 9:42 and I'm still awake is not a good sign. I just don't like going to bed knowing that potentially my lights are still going to be on when I go to bed. So, because that's going to be a very expensive electric bill. But yeah, man. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram at Javi_Sierra, you probably saw like I was uploading every now and then on my stories and stuff. I don't think I've posted anything on my feed. I mean, I do have a vlog from one of my runs that I have to edit, but even then, like even that, like normally like that's something that takes me like 5 minutes, but I just haven't had like the creative juices flowing. And I normally like I notice that happens whenever summer hits, because like I feel like my brain is still wired to the sense of like, oh, it's summer, like, oh, I'm in summer break, like it's whatever. But no, like as an adult, there's no more summer break, and honestly that's depressing, because I kind of like that routine of like, okay, like you work hard from the fall to winter, and then you have like a month break, and then you work hard from the winter to spring, and then you have the summer break. And like that routine was underrated, and I'm honestly kind of pissed that I had that for 22 years and then it got taken away from me, because that was great. Not even 22 years, it was 21, because I turned 22. Yeah, I was done with college when I turned 22, which honestly that sucks, but anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if anything major happened. No, I mean, I can't really think of anything, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit. Well, not a little bit. I just wanted to talk about the 21 Pilots album, because, oh my God. When I tell you, that album is it's up there with my favorite albums of all time. For me, favorite for me, not greatest albums of all time, because everyone's just gonna put rap and hip hop up top. But To me, this is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's up there. It's definitely up there. You know, every song, even even the Craving, I'll put it up there. You know, I don't skip that song when it plays. I prefer the single version, but Jenna's version is okay. You know, but it's one of those albums that no skips. I'm not gonna skip a single song. All of the songs, masterpieces. Next Semester, mwah. Vignette, mwah. Routines in the Night. We know it's kind of makes sense right now, you know, because it's pitch black and it's nighttime. And please, Fueled by Ramen, don't copy strike me. Walk the layout, routines in the night. Some doors have stay out, spray painting in white. Oh, even like in the entire album, Josh just killed it with the drums. Every song, man. Oh. But even I guess I never came out as a big 21 Pilots fan here, but I'm a huge 21 Pilots fan. And I think it all started with Vessel. It all started with Blurryface. Once Blurryface came out, I kind of went back and listened to everything before Blurryface. And Vessel, I'm telling you, had a grip on my life. Like, my life depended on that album. I remember it was around 2015, 2016, and you know, like Holding On to You held on to me really bad. And then, you know, Car Radio, Guns for Hands, Fake You Out, like that album, also one of my favorite albums of all time. And then, you know, I kind of dove into Blurryface and everything. Hot take, but Blurryface is not one of my favorite ones. Like, if I were to rank all of them, it wouldn't be up there, which I'll give you my my ranking of every album. I still like it, you know. It's a great album. But, you know, then 2018 Trench released, you know, also great album, perfection. And then 2021 Scaled and Nicey came out, which that was fine. I don't know why it got so much heat, because I really liked it. I was vibing to it in the summer, the summer leading to my senior year. I was vibing to that album. I remember every time one of those songs plays, I just remember doing security in the apartment complex in Bradley and just dancing through the hallways. And whenever I would have to do late night securities, and it was definitely not scary at all, but you know, it was so cool, because it was the building was empty. I think only a few people were there, and I just had the entire place to myself, and it was just I would just blast the music the whole time, and it was so many fond memories, man. I wish I could stay young forever. But then, you know, I think it was almost 3 years without any music being released, and then they released Overcompensate, and boy, I was yeah, they're going back to the start, baby. And then and then they released Next Semester, and I'm and then Backslide. I was I'm just telling you, it's so good. The music is so good, and don't even get me started on the plot, because I can talk about the plot. So if you didn't know, 21 Pilots has there's a story that started since Blurryface and concludes with Clancy, which is the most recent album. And there's a whole story behind pretty much mental health. And power is coming back. Wow. Okay. Well, guess, you know, we're still gonna keep recording. But yeah, so, you know, there's where was I? I lost track of what I was saying. Essentially, there's a plot with everything, you know. There's a story behind everything, and like, you know, mental health. Pretty much it's like a mental health battle and everything. Like, you know, I can't do it justice. If I try explaining it, I can't do it justice. So, you know, just do me a favor. Go on YouTube after you finish watching this episode. Go on YouTube and just look up 21 Pilots lore. And there'll be videos that are like 2 hours long. But just watch the 10-minute one, you know. And then if you like it, just delve into it. It's so beautiful. It's better than the MCU, okay? I said it. It's better than the MCU, better than Grey's Anatomy, better than any TV show you're gonna watch. But just on the like, I mean, by now you should know, like, and if you don't, well, I am a very like the type of person that I am when it comes to music is the lyrics and what the lyrics meant to me. Like, obviously music is a form of art and art is subjective. So, you know, everyone can interpret music different ways. And I really appreciate that Tyler, like, he has meanings behind the songs, but he won't tell you if the meaning that you have for the song is wrong. Like, you know, he's like, well, this is what it means to me. In like TLDR, he's like, well, this is what it means to me, but I won't tell you that it's wrong if it means something else to you. Like, for example, the song Next Semester on this album, it's speaking about an anxiety attack, you know, a panic attack. And, you know, I've suffered from those in college many times. And, you know, like the meaning behind the lyrics is just so deep. And, like, as someone that has battled with mental health for almost 8 years now, it's kind of nice when you listen, you know that there are artists out there that really push the message of the importance of mental health, especially with men, because I feel like that's something like it wasn't until recently that really started to get prioritized more as like men and mental health. I feel like a lot of the time that was very shoved aside because, you know, it's like men don't cry, men can't be sad, blah 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 blah, and it's just like the toxic masculinity. So like it was kind of nice that a group that consisted of 2 men were pushing the agenda of like men and mental health, and I really appreciated that. And, you know, like, the messages in the songs are never bad. If anything, it's always like how Tyler has dealt with mental health in the past and how he deals with it, and, like, you know, how he moves forward with life, and like how there's always something to look forward to and everything. And even like the hidden messages in between the songs and the albums, like, you know, for example, in Blurry Face, right, he's talking about his insecurities, how Blurry Face is like his self-doubt and his insecurities about being a musician and being like a brother, being like a friend, all that stuff. And, you know, like how Blurry Face is essentially like this persona outside of him that, you know, like, it's like all of his self-doubt and everything, and how that tends to control him and everything. And then, you know, in Trench, like, the color yellow is like, you put yellow over something that really means a lot to you. And, like, you know, like the Bandidos, which, like, in the lore, it's like the people that like save the people trapped in Dima, which is like us, but that's part of the lore. But essentially, like, you know, Josh, the drummer, like, you know, he has Tyler's name tattooed on his leg, so he puts on top of his jumpsuit, he puts yellow tape where Tyler's name is tattooed on his leg and over his heart, because, you know, like, that's like 2 important things to him. Or, you know, in Scaled and Icy, it was, you know, kind of like propaganda, and like how, like, the lyric, I feel like lyrics wise that album was the deepest, because it sounded so like joyful and like happy, and, you know, like essentially like, oh, everything is fine, everything is okay, we're all good and everything. But no, like but the lyrics were like so depressing. And if you really listen to the lyrics and like read the lyrics, it's like you're like, whoa, like this is kind of crazy and creepy in a cool way, because it's all on propaganda, right? And then like, you know, Clancy is like, um I don't even know how to interpret what Clancy is, because Clancy just has a lot of like, I feel like out of all of the albums is the one with the least direct messages, but it connects to all of the albums, if that makes sense, because it does talk a lot about mental health, but it also, you know, references like their early beginnings, right? Like for example, Midwest Indigo is just a tribute to Ohio, where they're both from, right? Or, you know, like Vignette, you know, it's just like, I don't even know how to interpret Vignette, but you know, like Lavish, right? Lavish is, the way that I interpret it is like, well, how they have dealt with being famous, but you know, still trying to like kind of be like, stay close to their fan base and stuff, but like, you know, trying to like this lavish lifestyle of being celebrities and stuff like that. Or Oldie Station. I feel like Oldie Station might be one of my favorite songs in the whole album, just because of the message in the song and like the lyrics of like, you know, like keep, like, you know, no matter what happens and everything, right? Like keep moving forward and like keep pushing forward. Like the line that, to the point, like, you know, you lived so far in life that your favorite song is now a part of the Oldies Station, really hits a different string. Because as someone that like really struggled with mental health, like there were times in my life where I would get the thought of like, well, what if I wasn't here anymore, you know, like that type of stuff. And like I know that's like a very deep and like strong topic, and I'm not gonna dive into that, but you know, like I personally struggled with that at times where I was like, you know, like maybe things would be better if I wasn't in the picture anymore or stuff like that. I never considered it, so you know, I'm okay, we're all good. But in like, you know, in the, just like talking about, you know, going back to like the song, and you know, like he also mentions how like now you're sitting at her first recital, you know, like, okay, you've made it so far in life that now you have kids and you're like at your kid's dance recital. And like, I don't know, like whenever like music has stuff like that, it really just like really, I don't know, it makes me feel a certain type of way. And that's why I just really like music that really makes you feel like it has a purpose. Like obviously there's some music that's just meant to be like fun and like there's no real deep message behind it or anything like that, but I just really enjoy having music that just has a message, and like it means something to me, and like, you know, it means something different to someone else. And oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that. What's going on? Oh, all right. But yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of wanted to do like I mean, I don't know. I feel like I could talk about the album for hours. Like, and just like dive into like what each song means to me, and just like how I interpret each song. Like, I guess I'll give a few more. You know, I kind of talk about Next Semester and Oldie Station, Lavish, but you know, Routines in the Night. Like, I sometimes struggle with going to bed early, and because like I feel like staying up late is the only sense of control that I have over my life, because everything else is already like, well, you gotta wake up early to go to your job, and then like, you know, you get home, and then like it's like, to me, I interpret that song as like grasping for freedom, right? Like control. Like out of everything that's out of control in this world, the only thing that I feel like I can control is the time that I go to bed at. And, I tend to stay up late on the weekends because it's just like I'm someone that really enjoys my alone time, and I feel like I can only really get my alone time late at night. It's very hard to get my alone time during the day. So it's a very toxic behavior, and I'm aware that it's toxic, but it's just it like what the it's just it's hard. It's hard to not be like I don't know. It's just something that I struggle with, like staying wanting like I like there's many times that I want to go to bed early, but I just know like the night is like the only time that I can really control stuff, and like I can just do what I want and just like have some peace of mind, because there's so many thoughts going in my head most of the time during the day that at night I can just like sit in complete silence and just enjoy the peace. But what other song is there that's meaningful? At the risk of feeling dumb, I feel like if you really listen to the lyrics, that's one of the deepest songs, just based on the lyrics. Like, you know, like essentially saying like, reach out to your friends, reach out to those in your life, even if you're risking looking dumb, but that's better than risking the loss of a friend, essentially. And I like it does. Whoa. Okay, we're back. It doesn't get more direct and obvious than that. So, just putting it out there, pretty obvious of an explanation to the song. I'm just gonna pull up the album on my phone. Well, yeah, Midwest Indigo, pretty obvious. It's a tribute to Ohio from them. Navigating. How do I interpret navigating? To me, navigating is like, what's the word? Like, like navigating the stuff in your life, but in order to help someone else, you have to help yourself first. And, like, obviously, like, dealing with adversity, dealing with like self-doubt, and like just daily stuff that comes into your life, like being able to deal with that before you can really help someone else. Because I feel like that's just something like I personally struggle with. Sometimes I tend to prioritize other people instead of prioritizing myself, when deep down I know like I can't really help anyone if I don't help myself first. It's the same thing, when like planes, right? Like when the thing falls down, like put your mask on first before you help other people. So same idea, pretty simple concept, but you tend to forget. I personally tend to forget, but yeah, I mean, I highly recommend, and that's the last thing with 21 Pilots. So, but I highly recommend that you check it out. Musically, it's a great album. It sounds amazing. The drums, the vocals, the lyrics, everything perfect. And I highly encourage you to dive into the lyrics, read the lyrics, interpret the lyrics. And I feel like sometimes like we live life at such a fast pace that we just tend to overlook a lot of meaningful things that are just right there, and we just tend to like whatever and just brush through it. But yeah, no, I mean, like I'm gonna say, like, I haven't really streamed an album that much since Louis released Faith in the Future, and that was in November of November 2022. Yeah, November 2022. So it's been a long time. But yeah, I mean, I I was really hoping to not have light for the latter part of this episode, but the power came back. And don't get me wrong, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that the lights back on, but it kind of ruined the whole vibe that I had going. And now I really do have terrible lighting, but I'm too lazy to get up. So, but I mean, like I guess like stuff coming up in my life right lately, recently, like I mentioned, I'm going to Florida next week, so that'll be fun. There's a lot of beef, not beef, but there's a lot of drama going up with the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, which that's interesting as a sports fan. I don't think that many people of my audience watch the WNBA. I mean, the Dallas Mavericks are getting smoked by the Boston Celtics. They're up 3-0 as of this recording. They'll probably be NBA champions tomorrow. So, congratulations to the Boston Celtics for winning your 18th NBA title. That's a record, man. That's a record. 18 championships is crazy because that's just crazy. Like 18, like what? Interesting. Um, I'm trying to see if I have anything saved on my Instagram that I wanted to talk about. Saved pretty decent pod. I find it funny when like people post I did want to talk about this. So, you pretty much like I advertise all the time. I have a girlfriend, like I still can't believe it. But I find it so funny that whenever like on Instagram there's like couples content and it's like people like it's in their house and like there's just this one particular video. Don't get me wrong, like the idea behind the video, I like it because it's very true. Like, one of my aspirations with my girlfriend is that eventually we move into our first apartment or house together and like have that first meal together in that house, whatever, right? Or essentially we'll make it our home. Cheesy, corny, I get it. But this video, it just like, I don't know if it's real or if it's set up to look like that. Because essentially, it's a couple and they just moved into their first place together and, they only have their TV set up, a gaming chair, one little table, and a ladder. And essentially that's how they're having their first dinner in their first home. But there's nothing else in sight in the living room. And my brain went to not like, oh, that's so wholesome and cute. It's like, where the fuck are the rest of the boxes, man? Are you telling me that you moved into your apartment and there are no boxes in the living room? The main area of your house, there are no boxes whatsoever. Like, you unpacked everything except the living room. See, and so you're telling me that the first thing you did when you moved in wasn't move in the boxes. It was to set up your tripod, set up the TV, just one gaming chair, and the ladder. Like, I really doubt that you had no couches at all. Because normally, I mean, I would like to think that majority of circumstances, at least one of the partners is going to have a couch that is moving to the apartment. Well, I think in my case, probably I wouldn't be in that scenario, but you best believe this ugly ass chair is coming with me because I'm attached to it. This, at one point, this was the only piece of furniture I had in my house alongside my TV and my rocking chair. But this is it was a house. It was a man house, just a recliner and a rocking chair. And I had no couch whatsoever. But I really have a hard time believing Like they had no other boxes whatsoever. Like I find it more realistic if they would have made like a table out of boxes and like chairs out of boxes, and they just like put like like you spread like a dining thing or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's like sometimes it is wholesome, it's like, but sometimes you're like, it's like, if I don't know, like I have a hard time like grasping the ethics of it, because like, if they want to put their relationship out there, it's their life, they can do whatever they want. But at the same time, sometimes like in my head I'm like, don't you think like that's some type of stuff that is like you should keep between you and your partner? But at the same time, like the internet is just like such a dark place, and like I think if my girlfriend and I were to make content together at some point, it would be like not I honestly don't know. It would probably be like funny stuff, because like we're both into like funny things to do together, right? So, but like I don't know, like I always struggle with like, that's just kind of like it's either that's too fake or you're being too honest and you need to tone it down a bit. So yeah, I feel like that's lately what's been going on in my head. Yeah, I'm hot as hell and I need to take a shower because I need to go to bed. But I can't make any promises of when this is episode 82. I'm quitting running, or I'm saying goodbye to running, or whatever, something along those lines. I don't know when episode 83 will be recorded and released, because I'm trying to come up with a better schedule. I'll probably do bi-weekly episodes because that just works better for me. But if we get the ball rolling with stuff, maybe weekly episodes. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. I know it was a weird episode. I feel like every episode has like no trajectory whatsoever. It's kind of hard coming up with stuff when I'm the only person in the podcast, and essentially my life just is working and running. So I kind of need to get into like adventures, or just have my girlfriend as my get like co-host. If you want to see my girlfriend as my co-host, just like let me know. Leave a like, okay? It's up to you. If you want my girlfriend as my co-host, you gotta like the episode. So even one like, that's all it takes. So, but yeah, I mean, I'll see you guys later. Subscribe to the podcast, like the episode, hit the notification bell, follow the podcast on Spotify and Instagram, follow me on Instagram, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast, because episode 83 will more than likely be the Disney episode. So stay tuned for that, because more than likely my girlfriend will be a guest in that episode, because she'll be in the trip. So I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.